Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll be showing you how to work with the positioning using X and Y. I'll just remove this one, and it's a very old format of positioning elements. I hope you know what positioning is, right? If I run this application once, you'll see that the rectangle, which is a bluey color, is created at the extreme top and the extreme left, right? At the top left. If I shrink, it will still be at the top left, right? So what if I want this rectangle to be at the center or somewhere else, right? At the extreme right, or somewhere around here, or at the bottom, like left, or somewhere at the top middle, right? If I want to place the rectangle somewhere else, how can I achieve that? Well, there are three ways of doing that, right? One way is to use x and y coordinates, right? And there is another called z, which is for the depth. Like if you want to place a rectangle over another rectangle, and if you want this background part to be clear, like if you want this rectangle to dominate, like if you want only this to be visible and this background to be behind that, so for that we need the z axis. So I hope that's clear. I'll show you that in a later video. But this is used for positioning in the old times. This is not a good practice. This is not useful for modern projects. Don't use X and Y positioning. This is bad. Recently, for modern positioning, we use two things. One is called anchors, which is also becoming outdated. The other is called layouts. This is the preferred way in QML 6 and Qt 6. Right? Anchors are also still relevant and quite useful. And layout should be used whenever you use any layout element like row layout or column layout or grid layout. I'll show you later what layouts are, right? So these two should be preferred. Don't use X and Y, but still we need to learn X and Y so that we can be clear with what's going on, right? So let's take an example. I'll show you the application later, but let's take an example for now, right? Let's say this is our window, right? At the extreme top. Now, before that, let me show you what X and Y are. If you have done coordinate geometry, you know this is the X-axis and this is the Y-axis, right? If you have done coordinate geometry in mathematics, this part is the X-axis, this line, and this line is the Y-axis, right? It is the same for QML, but in this case, X is always positive and Y is also always positive, and Y increases as we go down. So forget this part. We are only concerned about this part. I'll show you what's going on, right? So just think of this like this. If we go in this direction, X increases. If we go bottom, Y increases. Just think of that, right? So initially X is 0, Y is also 0. If we go to the right, X increases, right? So let's say this is X. X will be something like 50. Here X will be 100. Here X will be 150. Here X will be 200. Here X will be 250. Here X will be 300, right? Now if you go bottom, here let's say Y was here initially 0. Here Y was 50. Here Y was 100. Here Y is 150, right? Now if I tell you what is this point, you have to say here X is 150. Here Y is 50, right? If I tell you, if I ask you what is this point, here if you see X is 250, here Y is 50, so this is X and this is Y, which is 50, right? Now if I give you this point and if I want to create a rectangle, right, so how will it be created? See, this will be the top left and the top right, sorry, top and the left. So the rectangle will be created like this. This is the top left point. If I give you this point, so how will a rectangle be created? Like this. So this point is always the top left, right? If you give this point, the rectangle will be created like this. This was the basic that you needed, right? Now I think you're clear with how to proceed. So let's go back to Kevin. Let's go back to Qt Creator, and let's say I give it an X. See, the total width is 600, total height is 400, right? Let's say I give the X to be something around 200 and the Y to be something around 200 again, right? So it will be around the middle part, not exactly the middle, but something around the middle. Let's see. Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle, right? So this point, if you see my mouse clearly, this point here, X is 200 and Y is also 200, and then a rectangle is created like this way, right? So what if I want the rectangle to be, let's say here at the top middle, right? So if I want the rectangle to be created at the top, forget about the middle part. If I want to create it at the top, y should be 0. Let's first see, because y determines where the position is placed from top to bottom, right? So now at least it's at the top, right? So we have achieved something. Now I want it to be at the middle, right? So how can I achieve that? One way is to think, let's say this is the entire width. If I draw the diagram again, see, this is our window, this is the entire width. Let's say the width is, I think it was 600. Yeah, it's 600. So this is 600, right? So obviously the middle will be something around 300, because this is 0, this is 600. So the center will be around 300, right? Let's try that. Let's say x is 300. Now observe. If you see clearly, it's not in the middle, right? If you see clearly, this rectangle is not created in the middle. Now, if you remember, if I give this point, the rectangle will be created like this, and this is not what I want. This is not what I want, right? What I want is the rectangle to be created like this. So if this x is 300, I want the x to be around here, right? Now, how to calculate this part? If you think, if you look closely, this rectangle has a width, right? This center, let's say the width of this rectangle is 100, right? So half of 100 is 50. So let's say, if I created, like, if I clear it a bit more, just a minute. Let's say our rectangle was being created here, right? If I somehow move this rectangle to the left, then we would have achieved our goal, right? The rectangle will be like this. So how much should I move it to the left? How much should I decrease from x? Currently x is 300. I want to decrease something, right? I want to subtract something. Now how much should I subtract? The exact width of this rectangle is 100. If I subtract 50, then the rectangle will be created something around here, right? If x is 250, 250 plus 100, which is the width, will be 350. Half of that is 300, and that is also half of this entire window. I hope you are getting me, right? If this is the window, this is 600, this is 0, this is 300. If I create the rectangle at 250, around here, the width of the rectangle will be 100. So this is 250, this is 350. Again, the exact center of this rectangle, the half of this, that is 300, which is also the half of the window, right? So I hope that part is clear to you. So what I'll do is, I'll subtract 50 from it, because the width of this rectangle is 100, half of that is 50. Now if you run the application once, yeah, now if you observe carefully, this is at the exact center, right? So I hope this part was not very confusing to you, or what we actually did, right? So, but manually filling numbers is not a good practice, right? So what I'll do is, this 300 is nothing but half of this width. So I'll replace it directly. I'll say root to window dot width divide by 2. This 50 is nothing but this current rectangle's width. So I can directly use this and say width by 2, or to be more specific, I can say rectangle dot width by 2. Both are fine, right? Let's run the application once. Yeah, as you can see, it's working fine properly, right? So now if I want to bring it at the exact center, then I have to also change the y, right? If I want to bring the rectangle to the exact center of the window, I have to change the y as well. Now how to do that? Let's try again. I think this time it will be more clear to you, right? If this is the window, here the y is 0. As we go bottom, the y increases. Let's say the total height, was it 400? Yeah, it's 400. So the middle will be something around here, right? 200. Now, if I create a rectangle here, it will be something like this. But this is not what we want. We want it to be something like this, right? So the center aligns. Now, that means I have to move the y-axis somewhat up. Now, if you look carefully, this movement is exactly half of the height of the rectangle. Like, so let's say the rectangle was this. If I take half of that and then I move it up, then it will be completed like this. I hope this part is clear to you while moving it half upwards. So the code will be exactly the same. Root window dot height by 2. First, let's see this one in action. If you look carefully, it is not in the exact center, right? So I have to subtract some height from it, and that will be my current rectangle's height by 2, or you can say rectangle dot height by 2. Now it's in the exact center, right? I hope this part is like clear to you. This is very confusing for beginners, but I hope you got my point, right? Now here's a challenge question. I'll give you a hint. Let's say this is our window, and I want my rectangle to be here. How can I achieve that, right? I'll tell you how to. Let me show you how to achieve the x part, and then you have to find out how to achieve the y part. Okay, so I'll tell you how to put the x part. So look closely. Here x is 0. If you move to the right, x increases. Here x is 0. Total width was 600, right? So if I put my x here, the rectangle will be formed outside of the window. I don't want that. I want my entire rectangle to be inside that window, right? So for that, for the entire rectangle to be inside this window, right, I want the width, I want to subtract the width of the rectangle from this 600. I hope this is clear to you. Let's say this is our window. Here x is 600, right? If the rectangle's width is 100, then if I move on 500, here the rectangle will be completely covering, right? I'll show you. So let's say y is at the center. Yeah, what I'll do is this minus current width, and let's see. And as you can see, it's at the exact border. Now what happened, I'll show you again. Let's say this is our window. Here x is 0, here x is 600. If I put x as 600, the rectangle would have been created like this. If I subtracted something from this x, it would have been something inside. I want it to be exactly inside, fully inside. So this width should be subtracted from this x, which is this point. Subtract this entire width from this point. Then the point will be created around here. And that is exactly what we did. This is the extreme right. This is 600, right? Because the root's width is 600. And I'm subtracting my current width. And then I'm setting x to be that point, right? Now you have to find out the same for the height, for the y. I hope this part you can achieve on your own, right? Then the rectangle would be created around here. So it's very easy. You can just copy this part and replace it with height. And I hope like x and y is a bit more clear to you, right? Z is almost similar to that. Let's say I have two rectangles, right? And this second rectangle's color is red. I'll remove the ID. And let's say I'm subtracting height minus 50. Let's see. Now if you see, the red rectangle is overlapping the blue rectangle. Now why is that? See, this was created earlier, then this was created, right? So this blue rectangle is created before this red rectangle. So this is considered to be more like this is considered to be above that one. Like if you know a book of, like if you guys know what a bookshelf is or a stack is, like let's say this is a table. You keep one book and then you keep one book over it. So this book which you kept over it will cover the entire book, like will cover this part, like which is colliding, right? So if you keep another book over it, that will cover both of these, right? So this is exactly what's happening. If you put another item below this, that will cover this red rectangle, right? Now what if you want the blue to be dominant? So for that you have to set the z index to be something large, like 2 or 3 or 4. By default it's I think 1 or 0, and it increases as we go down. So if I set the z to be 2, let's see. Now if you see the blue is dominant, you can set any large number like let's say 999, and that will also work fine, right? The z index should be greater than this red one. Yeah, now as you can see it's working fine. Now if I set this z to be 5 and the z of this to be 6, then this red rectangle will be again over the blue rectangle. See, the red dominates. And that was all for the z-axis. It's not very useful, like it's not very useful, but sometimes you might use it for some specific purposes, right? And that's that. Thank you for watching. I know that this became a long video, but x and y are very important for positioning elements, right? So I hope this part was clear to you. Anyway,